In the early 16th century, one of the most powerful civilizations on Earth collapsed. Not over centuries, not through gradual decline, but in less than 2 years, its cities were vast, its armies were disciplined, its knowledge was sophisticated. Yet when a small group of outsiders arrived, everything unraveled. In the next 10 minutes, using historical accounts, archaeology, and AI-assisted visual reconstruction, we will revisit how the Aztec Empire fell and how the modern world was born from that collapse. The fall of the Aztec Empire was not preordained. It emerged from misunderstanding, disease, unfamiliar technology, and critical timing. Once these forces aligned, events accelerated beyond control, unfolding faster than leaders on either side could fully comprehend or stop. In 1519, the Aztec Empire stood as the dominant power of central Mexico. At its heart was Tenochtitlan, a vast capital built on an island in Lake Texcoco, linked by long causeways and sustained by an intricate system of canals. It was one of the largest and most organized cities on Earth, comparable in scale and complexity to the great capitals of Europe. Markets thrived. Temples towered above the water. The city projected order, authority, and divine legitimacy. The empire ruled through a combination of tribute, military force, and ritual power. But beneath this strength lay deep tension. Many conquered peoples resented Aztec dominance. Tribute was heavy. Obedience was enforced, not earned. Allies remained loyal out of fear rather than trust. The system functioned, but it left little room for unity when pressure arrived. The Aztec Empire appeared unshakable, yet its power depended on balance. And that balance was far more fragile than it seemed. In 1519, a small Spanish expedition landed on the coast of Mexico. At its head was Hernán Cortés, commanding fewer than 600 men. By any conventional measure, the force was insignificant. They were outnumbered by millions. They stood at the edge of an empire that had conquered the region through war, tribute, and fear. Yet the Spaniards carried unfamiliar advantages. Horses, unknown in the Americas, turned soldiers into moving shock weapons. Steel blades cut through obsidian with ease. Firearms and cannons, though limited, shattered morale more than they killed. But the most devastating weapon was invisible. Smallpox traveled with the newcomers, spreading ahead of armies and negotiations alike. It moved through communities with no immunity, weakening resistance before battles even began. Yet Cortés should have been destroyed the moment he stepped inland. Instead, he advanced. Why? Because the Aztec Empire ruled over many peoples who resented its dominance. Tribute demands were heavy, punishment was swift, loyalty was enforced, not chosen. To these enemies of the Aztecs, the arrival of the Spaniards represented opportunity. Old rivalries resurfaced. Local leaders offered guidance, supplies, and warriors. Information flowed rapidly through indigenous networks. The balance of power shifted not through Spanish strength alone, but through alliance. This was not a simple invasion. It was a complex coalition built on resentment, fear, and calculation. The conquest that followed was not solely European. It was, in large part, indigenous. And once those alliances formed, the fate of the Aztec Empire began to tilt in a direction no one could fully reverse. Moctezuma II faced a situation no ruler had prepared for. The newcomers did not behave like familiar enemies. They did not follow known rules of war or diplomacy. Their weapons were unfamiliar, their tactics unpredictable, their intentions impossible to read. At first, Moctezuma attempted caution. He relied on diplomacy, ceremony, and restraint, hoping to contain the threat without provoking disaster. But misunderstanding defined every exchange. What the Aztecs saw as ritual diplomacy, the Spaniards interpreted as submission. What was meant to delay conflict instead invited intrusion. When violence finally erupted, the imbalance was immediate and devastating. Steel blades cut through obsidian weapons. Armor resisted blows that once decided battles. Horses tore through formations, transforming the battlefield psychologically as much as physically. Cannons and firearms shattered morale, even when they caused limited casualties. Yet technology alone did not decide the outcome. Disease did far more damage than any weapon. Smallpox spread rapidly through Tenochtitlan and surrounding regions. Leaders fell ill, soldiers weakened, civilians died in vast numbers, often without understanding why. The empire began to unravel from within. Command structures broke down. Fear replaced coordination. Traditional responses failed against an enemy no one could see. The Aztec Empire found itself fighting on every front at once. Military conflict raged in the streets. Political authority fractured among allies and rivals. Biological catastrophe moved faster than any army. This was no longer a conventional war. It was a convergence of misunderstanding, violence, and disease. And once those forces aligned, control slipped beyond recovery. What followed was not simply defeat. It was disintegration. By 1521, Tenochtitlan was under full siege. The causeways that once brought food and people into the city were cut. Spanish forces and their allies controlled the lake. Supplies dwindled rapidly. Hunger spread first. Then thirst. Fresh water became scarce as aqueducts were destroyed and canals contaminated. Disease followed closely behind, weakening bodies already exhausted by months of conflict. The city began to collapse inward. What had once been a marvel of organization and movement turned into a maze of desperation. Neighborhoods isolated themselves, families hid in ruins. Order dissolved into survival. Street by street, the capital fell. Fighting was brutal and close. There were no clear battle lines, only exhaustion and attrition. Every advance cost lives. Every retreat meant surrendering ground that could never be reclaimed. The psychological toll was immense. Leaders were dead or incapacitated. Ritual authority had failed. The divine protection that once justified empire no longer seemed present. What had taken centuries to build? A city, a system, a worldview, was dismantled in a matter of months. When the final resistance ended, there was no negotiation, no treaty, no orderly transfer of power. There was only silence. Tenochtitlan, once one of the greatest cities on Earth, lay broken, its temples damaged, its canals clogged with debris, its people displaced, dead, or enslaved. The Aztec Empire did not fall with a single decisive moment. It bled away, slowly and relentlessly, until nothing remained that could hold it together. What followed was not simply conquest, it was erasure. And with the fall of its capital, an entire civilization ceased to exist as it once had. The fall of the Aztec Empire did not remain a local event. It reshaped the world. With the conquest of central Mexico, the Americas were drawn into a global system that had never existed before. Silver, gold, crops, and labor flowed across the Atlantic. Trade routes expanded. Empires connected continents through extraction and control. Europe's wealth surged. Spanish power rose rapidly. Other European states followed, racing to claim territory, resources, and influence. But this expansion came at immense cost. Indigenous civilizations were not simply defeated. Many were dismantled, transformed, or erased entirely. Social structures collapsed. Languages faded. Knowledge systems were suppressed or lost. What replaced them was not balance, but hierarchy. Colonial rule reorganized societies around exploitation. Land was claimed. Labor was forced. Entire populations were reshaped to serve distant powers. This was not just conquest. It was the early foundation of globalization, a world defined by interconnected markets, long-distance trade, and unequal exchange began to take form. Wealth accumulated in some regions, while devastation spread in others. The fall of the Aztecs marked a turning point where the fate of continents became intertwined, not through mutual exchange, but through domination. The modern global system did not emerge from cooperation alone. It was built on violence, imbalance, and loss. And once that system took hold, there was no clear way back. History had crossed a threshold, one that would shape the world for centuries to come. The Aztec Empire did not fall because it was weak or primitive. It fell because history began moving faster than it could adapt. Disease arrived before understanding. Technology disrupted balance. Division weakened resistance. None of these forces alone would have been enough. Together, they proved more powerful than any army. The collapse of the Aztecs reminds us that civilizations are not destroyed only by conquest. They are undone when multiple pressures converge, when systems built for one world are suddenly forced to survive in another. The modern world did not begin with discovery or progress alone. It began with rupture. With the collision of continents, societies were reorganized, hierarchies redrawn, and global connections forged through imbalance and violence. What followed shaped economies, cultures, and power structures that still define the present. In 1519, two worlds met. But the outcome was never equal. One expanded, one was dismantled. The Aztec Empire disappeared not because it lacked sophistication, but because the terms of history had changed without warning. And once those terms shifted, survival no longer depended on strength alone, but on speed, adaptability, and the ability to face forces no civilization had ever encountered before. That collision did not simply end an empire. It marked the beginning of a world where history would never again unfold in isolation.